Namaste. Welcome to Mastering Public Procurement channel. This is first part of the series of videos on the model tender documents released by Department of Expenditure in October 2021. In this part, we will deal with the development process that these model tender documents went through. Before we go into the process of development, let us understand the importance of model tender documents. Tender documents are the vehicle for implementing procurement processes, and they are important for realizing the intended benefits of procurement policies like support to MSME, Make in India, support to disadvantaged sections, etc. However, there is a huge diversity in the tender documents currently being used in implementation of various policy provisions. Instances have been seen of deviations from MSME and Make in India policy in various tenders. If a common model tender document is used across all the procurements, it will become easier to realize the horizontal objectives as mentioned above. It will also unify the fragmented procurement market and bring increased competition. How does it achieve it? Is like that if different types of tender documents are being used by different procurement agencies, the bidders will have a steep learning curve in bidding for different procurement agencies. So they will try to restrict their biddings to selected few procuring entities. If the bidding documents are common and understood by bidders all across the market, they will be more free to bid in all the procuring entities of their interest. So that is how larger competition comes, and we can leverage the procurement volumes of the government for getting more value for money. We can also use these model tender documents for national and international best practices to be used in these procurements. The background of development of these model tender document was, the starting point was the several initiatives that the Procurement Policy Division under the Department of Expenditure, which is the nodal agency for procurement policy, they have taken a number of initiatives to improve good governance, competition, and value of money in public procurement. These initiatives include increased e-procurement, promulgation of GEM portal, integrity pact, etc. It is the function of this PPD division to develop and maintain and update the model tender documents for the country. Hence, this attempt was made to develop a family of customizable MTDs, and initially it was decided to develop MTDs for goods and non-consultancy services. Development of MTDs for non-consultancy services was a special challenge. We will deal with the details in the upcoming video. We started in July 2019 with initial studies finalizing the approach, methodology, and the questionnaire for consultations. First consultation was held in September 2019 with all the relevant stakeholders, requesting them to give feedback on the questionnaire and on the areas of change. They were also asked to give samples of their tender document. Based on the responses received, the approach was modified and the change list was finalized. Beta drafts were developed for goods in January 2021 and for services in March 2021. With these beta draft, we went into a second round of consultation in June 2021, where 40 agencies responded, giving 922 suggestions, which were thoroughly reviewed for implementation into the MTDs. Final drafts were ready in August 2021, but after the goods and services common portions were synced for uniformity, and a guidance note was prepared for each of the model tender document to help the procuring entities to use these model tender documents. The final drafts went through an internal validation, and after finalization, they were formally released on 29th October 2021. The methodology used was to focus on stakeholder consultations. As you have seen, 2 rounds of consultations were held. The MTDs comply with the rules and regulations like GFR 2017, Manuals of Procurement of 2017 and 2019, and other instructions of the government. The model tender documents leverage best practices as enshrined in the MAPS assessment done by the World Bank and its recommendation. MAPS is the methodology for assessing procurement systems in a country. MTTs developed and revised for one of the PSUs of Ministry of Finance were also used as base documents. National best practices were adopted from the documents being used by railways, NHAI on the CPP, and those shared by the stakeholders during the feedback. MTTs developed by World Bank for states of Assam, Odisha, PMGSY project and FSSAI were also relied upon for national best practices. International best practices were adopted from the SBDs of NEC 4, which is the new engineering contract version 4th, FIDIC documents and World Bank's templates. The approach was to develop a small number of model tender documents with customizable design with enough features for large variety of situations. So the existing model tender documents which have been released are for open tenders through JEPNIC e-procurement process. They are not meant for limited tenders because there a very small model tender document can be used. The MTDs are designed for single stage 2 cover procedure of procurement, and they are designed for general goods in the goods model tender document, and in non-consultancy services they are time-based input and measurement processes of procurement. They are customizable to single cover, second stage of 2-stage bidding and PQB bidding. They can be customized for rate contract in goods and for retainership and on-call services in non-consultancy services. They can be customized also for global tenders or tender cum reverse auction procedure. They can be customized for capital goods, annual running contracts or AMCs, etc. in the goods MTD, and in non-consultancy services they can be customized for other forms of contract other than input and measurement type of contracts. These model tender documents are to be used as a guidance template. They can be customized to suit the individual organization. Unique procurements like health sector, information system and PPP, etc. are left to the relevant stakeholders to develop. The target entities are central ministries and departments, attached and subordinate offices, PSUs, autonomous bodies and statutory bodies in the relevant ministries. Large procuring entities with unique individual requirements may continue to use their existing well-established documents. However, it will be good if they can adopt certain good features from these model tender documents. They can also be used in states. The USP of these model tender documents is extensive guidance within the model tender documents at appropriate places for the procuring entities. Separate guidance notes have been prepared and published for goods and services document. Guidance for continued compliance with ever-changing policies have been given in the guidance note. The model tender documents have built-in software-based system to populate specific variables for individual procurements and for individual organizations. One-time process of global change can be done for incorporating organizations' parameters like its name, its address, its name of the procuring entity, various designations, and doing it one time populates the whole model tender documents. At hundreds of places these names may be occurring. This has been explained in graphics and screenshots in the generic document in the guidance notes. So this will become a model tender document for the specific organization. With this specific MTD for the organization, it can be further customized for each specific procurement, like the name of the tender, the description of the tender, etc. And similar customization has been given in guidance note. Price schedule and BOQ samples have been provided in the guidance note to help the procuring entity to select a proper BOQ for their procurement. The structure of the usual tender documents has been rationalized in these MTDs. We have to be mindful that MTD is not a place for policy guidance to procuring entity, because these will cause unnecessary problems if in case of dispute resolution or in court cases. The model tender documents have to be self-contained without any external reference to websites or policies, because if these policies change midway, they may cause problems in the dispute resolution and court cases. Model tender documents have certain sections which are fixed, not to be altered by the procuring entity, and certain sections which have to be filled in for specific procurement. These have been separated out, although in normal tender documents they are interspersed and people have to modify in all through the document. But we have separated the fixed and modifiable section for ease of use. Various sections of the model tender documents have overlaps, used to have overlaps and duplication of information. This has been totally eliminated. Similarly, the instructions to bidders and the general conditions of contract, which used to have such overlap, have been synchronized, and they have been made in such a way that what is in ITB gets implemented in GCC, it does not get overlooked. As we know, in India, the terminology for procurement is not standardized. So in these MTDs, we have taken steps to standardize the policy which has been explained in the guidance note. Definitions, abbreviations have been consolidated in the GCC instead of having a duplicate in ITB and GCC. To give details of how the structure has been rationalized, NIT has only those provisions which are needed by bidders to decide participation in the tender. It is made, the core of the NIT is non-changeable. Whatever variable parameters are to be given, they are put in an appendix to NIT, which is called Tender Information Summary, which is in a tabular form and is very comprehensive. So, and similarly, the instructions to bidder has provisions only for the tender process from publication of document till the award of the contract. It does not venture into other areas like contract management to avoid overlaps with GCC. Wherever there is a need, we have reference has been made to the relevant GCC clause. Whatever variable features are to be added in ITB, they are kept in an appendix to ITB called AITB, which is also in a tabular form. ITB originally is not to be amended and is to be kept as it is. Similarly, the general conditions of contract are also to be kept as it is, and it has been made self-contained for contract management, and it makes no reference to other sections of the tender document because they are not available at the time of contract management. Of course, the GCC has reference to SCC, that is the special conditions of contract. Wherever variable features are to be added, they are to be added in the SCC in a tabular form. There are schedules specific to the procurement which are to be filled by entities, like schedule of requirements, schedule of technical particulars, and quality assurance and qualification criteria. There are bidding forms which are to be filled by bidders in response to the schedules, and there are certain formats which are used in special situations. With this rationalization, the bulk of the MTD is not to be touched, it will remain unchanged, and it is 75% of the MTD. Procuring entity has to fill up only 8% of the MTD, and bidder has to fill up only 17% of the MTD. Rest is not to be touched, it is a black box like of thing. That's all for this video. I thank you for watching Mastering Public Procurement. In this screen, we are giving a link to my earlier video explaining the overview of this channel and public procurement. There will be subsequent videos giving details of the model tender documents for goods and non-consultancy services, how they are to be customized. Please be on the lookout for them. And to motivate me to continue to give new videos, please subscribe to this channel, share the video with your friends who will be interested in public procurement, and like the video if you have really liked it, and that will help me to continue with creating more videos. Thank you.